Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Lavaca County Commissioners Court. Today is June the 9th, 2025. This is your 10 a.m. regular edition of Lavaca County Commissioners Court. And with that, we'll start with a confirmation of roll call. Precinct 1.
Here.
Precinct 2.
Here.
Precinct 3.
Here.
Precinct 4.
Present.
And the judge is here, so let the record reflect that all 5 of us are here, present, and accounted for. And with that, we'll stand and have our invocation. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Precinct 1, Mr. Edward Puska, to lead us in prayer, please.
Lord, we thank you for everything you do for the people of Lavaca County, the people of the state of Texas, and this wonderful place of the United States of America. We thank you for all the good weather we've had in the last couple of weeks, the rain which helps everybody. We ask that you continue to help us and help us make the right decisions today for the people of Lavaca County. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Now our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Again, welcome everyone. Whether you're here live in the courtroom or watching this at some other time, we appreciate your attention to county government, your county government, and we appreciate your time and patience. Do we have any announcements? Agenda item number 1. Any public comments? No public comments? Going once, twice. Anything from the floor here? The one thing I want to say is I know our EMS director is here today, Michael Furr. He was at the GTAC conference. You sit on the board with the governor's office. Is that correct? We appreciate your service to that, and that is it's the governor's EMS and Trauma Advisory Council, correct? All right. Thank you for your service to the governor. And I also want to, proud to announce that you've been selected to be president, I believe, of the Texas EMS Alliance. Is that correct? That term will be a 2-year term starting September. Thank you, Michael Furr, for all you've done for the county, for Colorado County as well, and for leading. You've been leading up there at the Capitol, and it's showing. And I think one of the bills that the governor's going to sign is that we're going to get $350,000 for our local EMS departments per county. So appreciate your leadership. Can't say enough. I also want to say to Mike Wick, we saw you working all weekend. We had one of our tower sites, air conditioning unit went out, and he was jockeying around, had to go to Victoria to pick up an air conditioning unit to keep that tower cool. Thank you for your work and service. Anything else? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Just briefly, I know when I say that y'all don't believe me, but it will be brief. I just want to say that we can all breathe a little easier now that the legislature's out of session.
Amen.
What we don't know is, so there were some really harmful things that were aimed at counties that didn't get enacted, thank goodness. Thank goodness. There were some things that took place that are substantial, that are good. It's good news for everybody. Tax-wise, I understand that the homestead exemptions will be changing. I'm assuming that that's going to receive approval from the governor's desk. And there were similar things. Education, teachers get a raise. There was a lot of good news coming out of it. Not everything gets done. Nobody gets everything they want. You can get part of something or 100% of nothing. And most of the time you'll be happy with part of something. And so the good news is the session's over. We can breathe again, and we can make adequate preparation for the next session.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the governor is on signing all the bills. He has the power to not to sign. I do want to add that our new district, it would be Lavaca County, Colorado County, becoming a judicial district, is going forward. And that's going to start earlier than we anticipated. I think the governor will have to appoint Mr. Reeves, you're in the back room, appoint by September 2026. So The two counties will be, the governor will make that first appointment before an election takes place, but that'll be September 2026. We'll have a new judicial district. So lots of changes going on. We're going to talk about some of these changes as we go forward today. We're under the gun. So we're a growing county, a mid-sized county, and we've got some criminal issues we've got to address. Anything else? Had a good conference last week. Anything else brought back from the conference? A headache, maybe? Sometimes I think what I brought back from conference was it's not what was said in the conference, it's what happens outside in the hallways. I learned a lot from some commissioners that, you know, the crime element in South Texas is here. We know where the crime elements are. It's been identified in some counties, and it's hard to deal with it. So South Texas is definitely, we've got a lot on our plate as a region, and that was interesting. Lastly, I will say there was a county that asked them about private roads, and he says, we don't do private roads in our county anymore. We stopped it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we just did one. But some counties are not doing it. Now, we obviously did it for a valid reason. I was down in last 2 weeks ago. We did it, you know, it was down there in the rice field, and it's kind of made sense. But some counties are adopting other rules and regs. So that's all I have, but it was a good conference overall. It's always good to get with our South Texas group and see what's facing us as a region. So, anything else? Any other announcements, public comments? Going once, going twice. If not, moving on. We'll move on to item number 2. Discuss and approve Lavaca County 2025-2026 Health and Employee Benefits Insurance Renewal, along with presentation with Texas Association of Counties Health Employee Benefits Pool. And we have a presentation. You want to come forward? Okay. I assume while we're here today, you wanted to speak to us. Okay. And if you would, state your name for the court, for public records.
I'm Daniel Brown. I'm with the Summit Agency. I help broker the health insurance benefits and dental and life for Lavaca County.
And I'm Lacey Jones. I'm with the TAC Health and Employee Benefits Pool, and I am the benefits consultant for you guys.
All right. You have the floor.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. If you could just refer to the handout that I passed out before we got started. And I'm just going to run over a few key points. Over the last 12 months, Lavaca County ended up paying $1,956,245 in premium, and TAC and Blue Cross paid out $1,943,234 in claims, which resulted in a 99% loss ratio. And
Is that good?
It's not ideal.
Pardon me?
It's not ideal.
Not ideal?
No.
Okay.
And that's what's going to generate a rate increase of 5.7%. You'll see also in there that we had 3 insureds with claims over $100,000, 5 with claims over $50,000, and 6 over $35,000. And also around a third of the claims are coming from prescription drugs. And these are just factors that are going to have to cause an increase of 5.7% for the medical.
It's not only affecting our county, it's affecting...
Yes,
Affecting
yeah.
everyone.
And even for private companies that I'll broker to, I'm seeing anywhere from 12 to 15% increases for the smaller groups with the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare type plans. So I think you're in a good place being grandfathered. And moving on to point number 2.
Could I ask a question?
Oh, sure.
Those claims you referenced, I don't see those in here, in your handout. They may be in the packet.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, well, I have the back
Yeah.
page.
Yeah, you've got that in there. On the 12-month medical report, that should list.
That'll be the third, that's the third page.
Okay, sorry.
That will list month over month, the contributions paid in and then the claims paid out.
Yeah, yeah. But you referenced like some shock claims, but they're not specified. I guess they don't need to be. I guess maybe just the numbers.
Oh, that's what it costs claimants?
With just HIPAA and privacy, I didn't want to, I didn't include that.
Okay, would you just review it? What did you say again? It was like,
Okay.
there was a claim for 100,000?
There were 3 claims for over 100,000 each. 5 other claimants had over 50,000, and there were 6 insureds with claims of over 30,000, 35,000.
Okay.
And then, right, page 3 shows the average month of premiums paid versus claims paid out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure. And moving on to point number 2 for dental. Your dental benefits had a loss ratio of 107%, which is resulting in an increase of 13%. However, the employee-only dental is coming at $28 per employee. And when I look at that compared to other, really good dental plans, those plans are like $40 to $50 per employee. So you're still in a really good spot with your $28 for the employee-only dental. And the good news is the voluntary vision and your life plan have no rates. And point number 4, I wanted to bring up the TAC and employee benefits pool always continues to be well-run for all of the counties they've enrolled. And even what I was saying earlier about the projected inflation and rates for next year probably range anywhere from 7 to 15%. I hope that's a highball number, but this is also just what I'm seeing now from other groups as well. And as far as the future, we're predicting 7 to 15% increases in the year ahead. Hopefully, that's a highball estimate. And the partnership of TAC and Blue Cross, Kathy, the owner of the Summit Agency, and I always agree that is the best solution for Lavaca County and the other counties that they service as well, even when there is or are bad years at a renewal. And if you look at page 2, which is the second page of my agenda, I've gone over all the increases for Lavaca County for the last 20 years. So this is still a 5.7%. In my opinion, is still a decent increase, especially for the grandfathered plan.
I want to add to the court, just so the court's aware, that we had that Lacey and Daniel came and presented to me and Shana here about 2 weeks ago, and we sat down for probably an hour and a half, 2-hour conversation in depth over our coverage and increases and what's driving some of this. So I feel comfortable that these are the numbers as presented. I mean, we do have increases, of course, but I just want to add that. So that was more in depth. It's more in depth than what they're going to give us today. This is more of the overview, and then we need to approve the plan going forward. But y'all can ask those questions as well, so. Didn't mean to interrupt.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
Lacey, is there anything you want to say with TAC?
I have one question. How do you predict for the future of 7 to 15%? How do you do that? It's just,
We have small groups that are renewing every month, and I just kind of look at how that trend is going for the groups. Because with private companies, you can be effective on the 1st or the 15th of any month. So we have groups at our agency that are renewing every year. So that's how we kind of can predict, or not predict, but just give our best guess as to what it may be.
okay.
Luckily I've never had to, say anything over 12, and that was about 18 years ago, I think. But your grandfather plan, it really keeps it around the 5 or 6%. It really does.
Okay.
Great, that's a great question. All right, yeah, thank you guys. So again, I'm Lacey Jones with TAC, and I know that you guys are used to seeing Clarissa Messenger up here, but I'm going to be the benefits consultant for you guys now. So please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions that you may have. I do want to talk to you guys just a little bit about how the TAC Health and Employee Benefits Pool does come up with the renewal rates. Whenever the TAC Health and Employee Benefits Pool Board meets, which they did this year in late April, they review the claims history and the performance of the pool as a whole, and then they come up with the pool needed amount for the upcoming plan year. This year, the board found that the pool needed amount is 6%. So that's 6% from every group is realistically what is needed. But what we actually end up doing is at that point we go through and we allocate everybody based on their plan performance and their history, and that way we can kind of give renewal rates that are more fair. We adjust those. So you guys are actually getting less than the pool needed amount of 6% at 5.7. And like Daniel had mentioned, at the time of the rating year, you guys had a 99% loss ratio. And what that is, again, is the paid claims versus contributions received. The target loss ratio for the pool as a whole is 94%. So what that means is 94 cents of every dollar goes to pay medical and RX claims, and the other 6 cents goes to pay administration costs. So again, you know, I think that the 5.7% is great because it is less than the pool needed amount than what, you know, a lot of people did get. And as far as the dental plan increase, I think you guys can see that there has been some great utilization there, which is fantastic because it means that people are really taking care of their teeth, which does affect their overall health. And I know that Daniel did touch on the fact that a third of the claims for medical had been from prescription drugs. And so the pool has actually decided to make a change this year to narrow our pharmacy network to help bring down some of the RX costs, just because we know every penny counts, especially whenever it comes to, you know, preparing for your budget. So anywhere that we can save money, we certainly want to, as long as we're still able to provide the quality products and services for you guys. But yeah, the great news is that there's no increase on vision or life insurance this year, so that gets to stay the same. And of course, I want to be sure to answer any questions that you guys may have about any of this information.
I have one again.
Yes.
And then I won't ask any more. How come on these prescriptions, every other month is about $20,000 lower than the previous month?
As far as on the prescription coverage, that would,
Well, you got 6144, you got 7237 every other month.
it definitely could, that, and also, I'm sure 90-day supplies also
Does that
do with that.
90-day supplies have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
It certainly could, and just like Daniel was mentioning, it could have something to do with hospital administered.
Like a fifth or sixth tier, or, you know, one of the more expensive drugs that an RN has to administer.
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
I believe it's the even numbered months are a little lower.
Are a little lower than the others?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we can definitely dig into that a little bit deeper for you guys. No, that's a great question.
So you separate hospital administered meds versus pharmacy prescriptions?
As far as,
Or you lump them together? Is that right? I'm sure what you said.
No, I was just saying, like, why there's 20 to 25,000 difference in one month to the other was it might have been a more expensive hospital drug that only an RN can administer. Some sort of a controlled substance that, you know, like one of the really, it's a covered drug, but it's just one of the really expensive ones.
or like chemotherapy or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
true too.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Just one.
Yeah.
We have a handout here that's pretty extensive on page 12, there is I believe it's 12, alternate plan proposal.
Oh, yes, that is on the renewal, yes,
Yeah, on the renewal.
yes.
And the numbers, I'll just, there, what I see, and just simply on this page, it's just a change in deductibles.
Right.
You get a change in deductibles and change in co-insurance, and a change in out-of-pocket maximums. And, a higher deductible on option 1 is a higher premium. A higher deductible on option 2 is a higher premium. And then on option 3, if you take a $1,500 deductible, you save about $400, less than $400 a year.
Right.
So I just, that seems odd to me that you take on more risk
Yeah.
and you charge more money. I don't know.
And
Right.
the reason I'm
Numbers you get.
stumped is these are actuarials, statisticians that come up with the premiums.
Yes,
Yeah.
Number crunchers, I get no.
right,
And the weird thing is, if we were to change you at all, you'd lose the grandfathered status at your next year's renewal.
Yeah,
And-
we're not,
yeah.
and we're not wanting to do that.
Oh, no, sure.
We're not wanting to do that. I just thought it was
It
interesting
is
to see
Yes.
Yeah,
how that fleshes out.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right. Any other questions before we go into the approvals process?
I do have one thing to point out. We are going to not only, we're gonna approve the health, dental, vision, and basic life, but also the benefit waiting period for new hires. Within the past year, Lavaca County changed it to be a no waiting period.
Correct.
And the board is aware that if you change, keep it the same, that's fine. It has been a little difficult for the new hires or brought on, and they want to add dependents. They have to upfront the cost of the dependent coverage on day one when they start. So if they want to include children, they have to give a $650 check, which is more now, in order to put them on the coverage, because we get it.
On,
That does get a little difficult.
if they want coverage day one, now, what if they choose not to pay? Then they're not getting coverage day one. So,
Then they just don't get coverage for dependents.
so then that would be the employee's choice.
That is the
Okay, all right. And I do understand, we've had lots of discussion behind the scenes in court with the auditor's office. I think we had a case where an employee started and then 4 days later quit. So, we do have some issues such as that unanticipated, but it will come up from time to time. So I don't know if we're ready to deliberate on that as a whole, but I think I would suggest leaving it for now, and we can always, if we change it, go back to something 30-day waiting period. If we, let's say, what was the original period? It was 90 days or 6 months? 90 days.
30, 60, or 90.
Okay, so we had a 90-day waiting period. We did away with that to start from ground zero. But if we change to 30 days, let's say 2 months from now we decide we want to go back to 30-day policy, there should be no penalty for that, I don't think.
The waiting period needs to be implemented for the anniversary date. So since you guys, the plan year starts on October 1, that's whenever the waiting period needs to be implemented.
Okay, so we could have some more time in the next coming months to introduce that? Or do you want to?
Yes, you
Okay.
do have a little bit more time, but we do need to know as soon as possible, just because we do need to get that information over to Willis Towers Watson, so that, and to Blue Cross and Navitas and everybody else, so that way they can actually program that information in their systems as well.
Okay. Go ahead.
Judge, didn't we change midterm?
We did change midterm, but it cost us, it was going to cost us, and it ended up, it didn't cost us, if I remember right. They threatened us with that.
The only reason they did cost was because they had another member that wanted to do basically the same thing, and so they waived the cost. And I don't recommend trying to go every year and flip-flop back and forth.
I don't agree with that either. I mean, I don't want to flip-flop, but I do want to make sure that we're being fair and marketable to employees. As an employer, trying to attract people to us, the sheriff's office has had problems in the past of keeping full staff. And so If you want coverage.
if you want dependent coverage.
But if you don't want dependent coverage day one, then that's their prerogative. Okay.
What's the consensus? Do most of them want it or they don't?
There's a lot of folks that are starting to want coverage through that.
So what was the alternative? So if you waited 90 days, you didn't have to do that?
You didn't get coverage.
Because they
No,
then
no.
had the opportunity, it to come out of their paycheck.
Okay.
Right now, if you're doing it day one, there's no
There's no
paycheck.
paycheck,
that's
yeah.
taken from.
Yeah.
I would want to at least have a couple more weeks to, if we make that decision to come up with the right solution. We've got a court advisory meeting this week, and I would bring that up for the court advisory committee just to bring up and then bring back to the court. The court's going to meet again June 23rd. This doesn't have to be until June 27th.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
So we can make our approvals today minus that and then come back to the court if we had. Okay. That's what I would prefer that. Any other questions on that before we go to approvals? No? Okay. All right, let's start with we're on item number 2, number A, letter A, health insurance. So the plan that's been recommended is medical plan 700-G2 with a $30 copay, $680 deductible. It also has RX plan attached, which is considered 4A-G2. And then our rate change on that medical and RX plan is 5.7%. Do I hear a motion? Motion made by precinct 2.
Second.
Second by precinct 3. Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 3 to go with the medical plan 700-G2 with a $30 copay and a $680 deductible, and RX plan 4A-G2, and to also approve our percentage change of, policy change of going up by 5.7%. Any other questions or comments on medical and RX? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That medical plan passes. Next, we have the dental plan. The dental plan that's been recommended is Plan 1 with ortho. And the rate change on that is 13% on the dental plan. Do I hear a motion?
Judge, I recommend that we approve the renewal of the dental plan as presented.
Okay?
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve Plan 1 with ortho for the dental plan and with a rate change of 13%. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next, we've got vision. The vision plan is the value -1224 plan with no rate change, 0%. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the vision value -1224 plan with no percentage rate change to Lavaca County. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next, we have the basic life plan. Coverage volume per employee is $10,000, and there's no rate change, is that correct? 0?
For the life?
Right.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Judge, I recommend that we approve the renewal for the basic life plan as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve the basic life plan as presented. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. The benefits for the waiting period for new hires, do I hear a motion to table that for 2 weeks?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 3 to table item E, the benefit waiting period for new hires, till we have some more time to research that. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling benefit waiting period for new hires, say aye. All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes as tabled. COBRA administration, do we have anything to talk about COBRA? And this is part of that.
Yeah, there were just some changes in it, you just want to go through to go over administration.
Yeah, absolutely. So previously, Lavaca County has had Blue Cross and Blue Shield administer their COBRA, where the COBRA administration fee was $150 for any participant who decided to enroll in COBRA. This past May, Blue Cross and Blue Shield is no longer administering COBRA, so we have switched our COBRA administrator to Benefits Connect with Willis Towers Watson to administer COBRA. So if you guys want to continue having somebody else administer your COBRA and nobody have to worry about it here in Lavaca County, and it be processed through OASIS the way that it has been, the fee structure did change just a little bit. Instead of $150 for every participant that enrolls in COBRA, it would be $20 for every time that they have to send out a COBRA notification form. So our reporting and billing department had put together some data to get an estimated cost of what that would be for you guys. And it looks like it would be roughly about $800 a year, but again, that all depends on how many notifications have to go out. And those notifications have to go out for, say, any time that somebody loses coverage through the county, whether they're terminated, or if there's a divorce, or if there's a dependent enrolled on the plan that turns age 26, so they age out. That would be a COBRA qualifying event in which they would send out one of those notifications.
Okay. And this is something TAC is basically handled through TAC? Or is,
It is
Okay.
handled through TAC. So it's basically the Benefits Connect through Willis Towers Watson is taking the place of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield COBRA administration. So that's also why we've included an updated interlocal agreement with the renewal, just saying that if you guys do decide to continue processing COBRA the way that you have been, but now it's going to be through Willis Towers Watson, the updated interlocal agreement just acknowledges that.
is that agreement in here, in the packet? I don't remember.
It should be attached to the
I
renewal.
don't remember seeing it. read
I
through it.
believe it's at the back. And if it's not, then I certainly want to get it to you guys.
Yeah. Let's see if it's here.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we, because that may tie into what do we want to do with COBRA paying, if we get away from the starting insurance day one and paying a COBRA policy instead, maybe that's something we need to discuss. So, okay. Do I hear a motion to table the COBRA administration policy until we can have time to meet? Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, seconded by precinct 1 to table the moving on to COBRA administration policy. Any other questions or comments regarding that before we move on? I do think we need to have something at our disposal. We can discuss that, and we'll discuss it this week in committee, and we'll bring it back to the court on the 23rd. So any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Letter F, COBRA administration has been tabled until further notice. All right, anything else we missed?
I
Covers
don't
it?
think so.
Thank you all for your presentation. You all did an excellent job of presenting to me and Shana the other day. This is the first time at the court getting to hear this, but we appreciate y'all being partners with us.
Of course, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Moving right along. Next up, item number 3, discuss and approve distribution of unclaimed property capital credits for 2023 and 2024 from Texas Comptroller in accordance with LGC 381.004 in the amount of 2023 amount of $8,416.51 and 2024 an amount of $36,373.03. $36,374.03. I do not have attachment on this. You want to walk me through that?
I can walk you.
Okay.
So, I guess the meeting or so before, we were talking about capital credits,
Correct.
and that was to apply for capital
Any suggestions from the court?
I like the idea with the welfare board and, Norman's house.
And the Yoakum Library.
Okay.
I think Yoakum is the only one that took advantage of it last time.
Yeah, they do take advantage of it. That's good. They have a good summer program.
All right. Any other ideas, suggestions for Norman's house? The Child Welfare Board? And Yoakum Library, but, we do the one library. We don't have a county library, but if we do for one, you gotta do for all.
Start one.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know Norman's House does a big job for the county attorney's office here. I know that they're out there. I'm not sure what their funding cycle is like. Again, if we want to table, we can again table this until we have some more information of what their needs are. We could do that.
Just know if you take it too long, you'll then, typically we get this funding in August, September time. You'll have 3 years worth to get that, so it just keeps, each time you apply for it, they're gonna give it to you.
Gotcha.
It's not all right to keep it. You probably should have did 2 years ago, given it out. Just my opinion.
We divide it 3 ways.
We could divide it 3 ways.
We divide it 3 ways and then disperse it.
I mean, if that's a motion someone wants to present.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the distribution of unclaimed property credits for 23-24 from the comptroller in the amount specified. And we've had 3 organizations that have been listed: Child Welfare Board, Norman's House, and the Oakland Library, I believe is
Yoakum
correct.
Public
I recommend that I make a motion that we divide that 3 ways equal.
Okay.
Okay?
Both years,
Yes.
not 3 ways?
Both
Yes.
years.
Second.
That sounds very
Okay.
good.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to make an equal distribution to approve the distribution of unclaimed property capital credits for 2023 and 2024 from the Texas Comptroller in accordance with LGC 381.004 in amounts of $8,416.51 and $36,373.03 collectively, and to divide those equally 3 ways, whatever that amount comes out to be, to Norman's House, Child Welfare Board, and Yoakum Public Library. That makes sense to everybody? Clerk's office, that makes sense? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of making that distribution, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, number 4, discuss and approve advertising for concrete and labor bids for Lavaca County roads. That's found on page 27. And do you hear a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve, advertising for concrete and labor bids for, the Lavaca County Road.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to approve advertising for concrete and labor bids for Lavaca County roads. Those notices will go out today, June 9th through June 20th. Will be publicized in our county papers. Sealed bids, plainly marked, will be received by Shayna R. Opiel, the Lavaca County Auditor, at 109 North LaGrange Street, Hallettsville, Texas, 77964, until 10:30 a.m. on Monday, June 30th, 2025. That gives contractors enough time, today's June 9th, to June 30th. If you all recall, we did reject some bids for lack of information, so it gives you another, till June 30th, to resubmit those bids. Bids will be opened and read aloud by Keith Mudd, Lavaca County Judge, or his designee, in the Commissioner's Courtroom, Lavaca County Courthouse, Hallettsville, Texas, on Monday, June 30th, 2025, at 10:45 a.m. Bids will then be discussed and awarded at the Commissioner's Court regular meeting on Monday, June 14th, 2025, at 10 a.m. So, I have a motion from precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to go out to advertise for concrete and labor bids. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We're going out for bids. Number 5, discuss and approve interlocal agreement for the sale of surplus property between City of Burleson, Texas and Lavaca County. That's brought to you by our EMS director who walked out, and now he's the assistant chief is coming up. Mr. Tim Becker, how are you?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Fur had to leave, so I'm going to take care of this for him. So this is an interlocal agreement between us and the City of Burleson. This allows us to buy from another government agency. It's going to be the City of Burleson. These are for 30 portable radios. With some of the growth that we've had within EMS, within the Sheriff's Department, countywide, we're having more of a need for these handheld radios. These handhelds are used radios that the City of Burleson had. The typical cost of the radio that you see on my hip is between $10,000 and $12,000. We're able to get these for $1,000 a piece, which is a good deal. Still a lot of life in them. And this allows us to hand these out to some of our new employees with the growth. And of course, with the last purchase, kind of fund some more of the fire departments as well too, who didn't have complete radios for their guys. So this is a little bit of a discounted rate. But this interlocal basically satisfies the legality in purchasing from the City of Burleson. So that'll be 30 radios for $30,000.
Okay. And coming out of EMS line item?
So this year we sold some of our ambulances. We have a line item of sale of equipment. I can't remember the exact number, but that money is going to move. We're going to move $30,000 of that money into our communications line item, which is $6,200 for EMS. We're going to purchase the radios out of that fund. Some of the fire departments and the sheriff's departments that need the radios, we're going to later allocate. We'll invoice them through our department, and then we'll reallocate that money as we go. But this allows us to secure these radios before they go somewhere else
Exactly.
to another
I
department.
think it's wise to move on it. And that contract was in, what do you call it? MOU, interlocal agreement was found on page 28 through 32. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the interlocal agreement for the sale of surplus property between City of Burleson, Texas and Lavaca County. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Number 6, discuss and approve budget process and the key budget dates. We had a little snafu. I sent an email letter out to all department heads and officials, and it did, for some reason, we had a technology glitch and not everyone received their email. But basically our deadlines, department heads and officials have till June 20th to turn in your completed budget worksheets back to the judge's office with any requested changes. I'm going to call for a special called budget workshop on July 23rd. That'll be from 9 a.m. to noon. It's not mandatory to present in a budget workshop, but that we'll spend the whole 3 hours of the court going through the budget as a whole and changes, and it's the department heads and officials' time to come and talk with us collectively about your budget. On July 28th, that's a regular Commissioners Court meeting, and if you didn't, you can get this letter. This letter is in our judge's office. On July 28th is a regular Commissioners Court meeting. If you missed the budget workshop and still want to present, we'll hear some of those budget requests on the 28th in regular Commissioners Court. August 2nd, I plan to have the proposed budget and the tax rate that we propose published online on August 2nd. And then August 11th will be when the tax assessor will present her certified values and the no new revenue and voter approval rates. She'll present that to the court, and the court can make our official selection of a rate at that time. And then August 25th should be the date that the court approves the budget and the tax rate. We'll have our budget hearings on that date as well. Does that make sense? And Mr. Apple, if you needed that, we can get a copy of those dates to you. Anything else regarding budget calendars? I've also advised officials and department heads, if you can't explain your pages to me in one page or less, then you need to come and make an appointment to see me or Shana, and either individually or together to discuss your changes that you have. That's all I have on that one. No vote necessary. Number 7. And we're not going to vote on those the dates because the dates are subject to change. Something could come up and we're not ready to prepare, but those are our tentative dates for the budget calendar. All right, item number 7, discuss and approve replat for Calvin and Beverly Walters. That's found out of Precinct 4, and I believe County Road 430, if I remember right. It's found on page 33 through 46.
Anyhow, this is a little subdivision that was platted a few years back, and they are actually dividing some of the lots again. And as all the paperwork is here, everything is in good shape. Maylene, did you have any updates? I know you worked on this.
No, they were just issued a certificate of exemption back in 2022. They did re-subdivide two of the tracks, so it fell under the tier 2 preliminary exemption in our regulations. They did comply with everything required for tier 2.
Okay,
So with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
okay.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3, to approve the replat for Calvin and Beverly Walters out of Precinct 4, and that's also on County Road 430. All lots come out on County Road 430. There hearing any other questions or comments? If hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next, on to number 8, discuss and/or approve the certificate of exemption for subdivision from subdivision requirements for Dennis Berger, as found in Precinct 3, found on page 47 through 60.
Do you know what page, Exhibit C is on the deed?
I can find it.
All right, we tabled this last meeting to let Mr. Crochelle look it over, our attorney, and he read everything, and we have this Exhibit C in our paperwork. They have a pretty good set of regulations when they divide this property up, so.
Okay.
Everything looked good, he gave his blessing on it, Nayely, and both of us agree on it too, so I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Dennis Berger Jr.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4, to approve the certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Dennis Berger Jr. Any other questions or comments? I might add to what gave us a little bit of reservation. This was 16-acre tracts. They've got basically an easement, but this is family. This is family deeding it to family members, and they're pretty much on their own at that point. And we never wanted to restrict somebody from deeding to family. The easement was a little smaller than we'd like to see, but this is family. Again, this is probably would be one of those cases that we would never take over that easement. We couldn't. It would be too small for us to take it over. So their family understands that, and we kind of slow down the process, make sure they understand it, and so I think everyone's okay. Anyway, so I had a motion by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 9, discuss and approve certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Marcus Grauman. It's found in Precinct 1 and brought to you on page 61 through 64.
Yes, this is 2 tracts of land. One tract is 2 acres, the other tract is 1.25 acres. It's on County Road 128, and it meets or it is eligible for exemption from Lavaca County subdivision regs, so I move we approve this exemption.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 1, second by Precinct 2, to approve the certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Marcus Grauman. That's on County Road 128. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Number 10, discuss and approve adding 3 jailer positions and 1 investigator position for the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Salaries are to be funded through the existing Senate Bill 22 funds. We have several paper attachments, but let me just walk you through this, and Carl and Matt, if you want to come forward just to let the public know who you are. Sheriff Greenwell is at a conference in Austin today, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So if you would state your name and your positions with Lavaca County.
Good morning, Court. My name is Matthew Keller. I'm the Jail Administrator of the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Carl Herbst, Chief Deputy with the Sheriff's Office.
Good to see you both today. I think I can maybe walk through some changes, but y'all want to address anything before?
The list that we supplied here for the justification for the 3 jailers positions that we're asking to add using the Senate Bill 22 funds lists a variety of reasons, a lot of safety, liability to the county, things that are listed on there.
Okay. Let me add, just because I'm going to help you along with this. Our jail has been overcrowded. We're 41, 42 consistently, just in 24/7 have 41 inmates, and these are not misdemeanors. These are felons. We've had some problems. Our jail, just to put it for the public's perspective, we've got basically 2 jailers on duty. One's in a control room locked, and one's on the floor. And we've had some altercations. It's just no longer safe. We had a jail standards surprise visit with flying colors through that visit. Myself and Kenny Ziegel, the 2 of us went. One of us from the court had to go sign that paperwork about the visit. So we happened to be at lunch, and so we both went together. Having one jailer on the floor for 40 inmates is not prudent. I can't imagine doing that. So the request is moving from 14, we have 14 jailer positions collectively with Matthew heading that department, going from 14 to 17. So that's just a base level move to get us an extra coverage so we can go to 3 people. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we're asking is, if you remember January 6th, we had some budget changes after the new sheriff took over. So we're going to move some money around now. We had money within that department to move to, so we can go from 14 to 17 in the jail department. It won't require us to add money right now. Now, it will require them to come back to, during the budget workshop, to tell me what are they proposing for October 1. These will be paid out of SB 22, yes. We're going to try to maximize our SB 22 funds. And statewide, that's what we're asked to do, is maximize those funds, not return those dollars, because we need to maximize them, take advantage of it. So again, we've got a new jail, we've got a new sheriff, we've got a new jailer, we've got a new chief deputy. They're making some changes that are beneficial to the county. I'm going to say this again, and Mr. Reeves is in the back of the room, Josh is in the back of the room. We've had 107 indictments since January 1, and we've got a bunch more to go. And that's an understatement. I see the district clerk over here shaking her head, yes, that's an understatement. So we've got some major changes happening in Lavaca County, right? You're witnessing it in the first 6 months of the year. And I commend y'all for your work. So this is a base level, getting our jail up to where it needs to be. And then we're going to add 1 investigator, correct? You want to talk about that?
Yes, sir, and I may repeat some of what you just said, but mid-year, we found that we needed to do something with the SB 22 money that hadn't been spent yet. During this same time, we had a special investigator come to us and offer to go to work for us doing major offenses and working with federal law enforcement agencies. Really don't want to pass that opportunity up if at all possible. So the SB 22 money will at least get us until October 1. We'll reevaluate during budget, like Judge said. Exceptional position to have. The contacts, the capabilities are just unmatched right now. They are. So we would love to bring that gentleman on as a special investigator. The tools, the contacts that he can provide would just help us excel in our major crimes investigations. Really would.
All right. I commend y'all both for what you're doing for the sheriff's office. You guys are working 100 miles an hour. We see it and feel it. So lots of changes, positive changes for Lavaca County, cleaning up the crime that's here. And we got to house them then along the way. So
Actually, both of us spent all day Saturday in the jail because of one particular inmate, and I was there again yesterday.
and I think we can talk publicly. We're not going to say the name of the inmate, but the public doesn't understand the violent offenders we have in that jail, throwing urine, throwing feces, whatever it goes. And you're just trying to run a jail and feed the people that want to be fed 3 times a day, and distribute medication to people that won't take their medication. And all these things play out. Unbelievable what you guys are going through, but I mean, you're running a prison. Is essentially what it is. These aren't just checking in, checking out. they're waiting for their trials, they're waiting for their day in court, and then they get shipped off to Texas Department of Corrections. But we have to house them before those convictions take place. That said, I can see James in the back room is not on the agenda, but James will be coming back to us shortly, and they're going to have to make some changes to adjust too. So it's not on the agenda today, but anyway,
Also, Judge, one side note, the 3 jailer positions, we've already had applicants, they've already been vetted, backgrounds have been done. With your approval, it'd be our prayer to bring them on and make that jail as safe as possible.
Okay, I think we could make that today as well. Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion to accept these 3 changes? We're adding 4 positions. They're not asking us for more money right now. We're going to use SB 22 funds, but then potentially they're going to come back and ask us to start some new funds on October 1st.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3, to approve adding 3 jailer positions and 1 investigator position for the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Salaries to be funded through existing Senate Bill 22 funds, and make those, and they're eligible for employment starting today. That'll be the motion.
Thank y'all very much.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, next up, number 11, discuss and approve contract through Thomas Reuters and Lavaca County Sheriff's Office for the Clear ProFlex Investigative Support Service. That's found on page 65 through 69. I must admit, I read this contract. You need to tell me what it is.
Yes, sir. Essentially, it's an investigative software, lets us find assets for people, lets us find contacts that they associate with, family members, places of employment. Investigators find it invaluable. I've used it for years, especially on the civil side to help me with asset seizures and stuff. The cost right now is $211 a month with a projection 5% increase for the next 2 years. It's a 3-year contract, and then after that, it's up for renewal. The Sheriff's Office in the past has had a type of investigative software that doesn't compare with this at all.
Okay. All right.
That sounds reasonable, $211 a month.
Yes, sir. It is very reasonable.
Okay, and you have existing budget to cover that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, I move we approve a contract between Thompson Reuters and Lavaca County Sheriff's Office for Clear ProFlex investigative support.
Second.
All right, motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2, to approve the contract between Thomas Reuters and Lavaca County Sheriff's Office for the Clear ProFlex Investigative Support Service. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you again, Chief Deputy. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, number 12, discuss and approve the donation of 2 tables from Merle and Janice Richardson to be used in the Archives Department as map tables. It's found on page 70 through 72. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to approve the donation of 2 tables from Merle and Janice Richardson to be used in the Archives Department as map tables. And they're beautiful tables, just need a little cleaning, polishing out, but Merle thinks they'd be perfect fits for that, and if we don't want them after that, I think he said we can do what we want. But anyway, thank you, Merle and Janice, for making that donation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, number 13, discuss and approve road plan and paving updates. Anything from the court?
Yes, I have one thing I'd like to say. We have a machine that costs $388,000. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But the cost, if we have to hire out a company to come pave a road, they're going to charge us $40,000 for 1 mile. A couple of weeks ago, we paid 2.7 miles. So if we hired that out, it would be about $110,000. That's 1/3 of what the machine costs. If we do 7 more miles this paving period, the machine will have already paid for itself. So we're at a good start. And hopefully by the end of paving season this year, which is September, October, that machine will have already paid for itself. So that's where we're at.
And I hope,
And Edward, also, after we get finished reading, I have about 10 miles of road that I worked on last year, prepared to reseal this year. So
Get it ready.
We're gonna be getting started on that real quick too. So that's
Get it
gonna
ready.
take care of that situation real quick.
okay.
That's all I have, Judge.
Well, the only question, I mean, I think everyone's excited about this machinery. I know your work hands are excited about it. I would suggest to the court to listen to your work hands, because they're getting the same complaints sometimes on roads. They know what needs to be done, and pay attention to what they're asking for, so take some pressure off. And you see these subdivisions, there's more people on our roads. There's roads that maybe didn't need to be paved with gravel at one time, but now they've got a lot of traffic on them, and we need to reassess those. So I'm just asking the court to take note of that. Anything else on the paving plan? All right, I will say this before we move into consent. We've got an item that got tagged on at the end, number 16. I don't know if we want to do consent first or not, but we need to spend probably a couple of minutes with our county attorney in executive session before we do 16, but let's do consent, and that way get some paperwork flowing. We'll do consent agenda, then we'll have number 16. After that, we'll have executive session, and we'll come out. So, item number 14, do I have a motion to move in and to approve consent and move into consent?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the consent agenda with one motion second and vote. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are in consent. Our microphones will go off, and then we will have another item after that. Okay, we are out of consent. We're going to skip item 15 for now. We're going to go to item 16. What? All right, we're going to skip item 15, and we're going to move to item 16. Item 16 is to discuss and approve allowing Allison Bass and McGee LLP to pursue litigation on an illegal subdivision in Lavaca County. And I'm going to ask, before we vote on 16, we're going to go into executive session with our attorney. So to have a motion to move into exec.
I so move.
Okay. Second by precinct 4. Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to move into a closed session. We'll have that closed session in my office. It shouldn't take us 2 minutes to do that. All those in favor of moving into exec or closed session, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are in closed session. The time is 11:10. And Mr. James Reeves, if you'll come back here, we'll be real quick about it. Motion to adjourn from executive session.
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All right, motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 3 to adjourn from executive session. All of those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. The time is, I said 2 minutes.
11:18.
11:18. Sorry, you missed it by 6 minutes. All right, we are out of executive session. So now we're back on item number 16, which was to discuss and to approve allowing Allison Bass and McGee LLP to pursue litigation on a legal subdivision in Lavaca County. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. I recommend that we approve item 16, allowing Allison Bass and McGee LLP to pursue litigation on a legal subdivision in Lavaca County.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve allowing Allison Bass and McGee LLP to pursue litigation on an illegal subdivision in Lavaca County. Any other questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Let the record reflect. Let's do a show of hands on that. Show of hands. Who's voting for that? That's a 5-0 vote by show of hands. All right, now we'll move back to everyone's favorite item of the day, item 15, which is announce the next meeting, which will be June 23rd, 2025 at 10 a.m. unless we have a special meeting in between that time period. But our next regular Commissioners Court will be June 23rd, 2025. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'm making you adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by